Hello everyone, welcome back to this episode of A Talk, A Interview. This is David and this is James. So, what are we gonna talk about today? Thoughts?
Thoughts?
Thoughts? Anything?
No.
Talk about thoughts?
Thoughts?
So, David,
Mm.
which do you think would win?
No, hold on. Let's do this. You ask him a question, you ask me a question. I'll ask you a question.
Alright.
That'll work.
So, 100 Navy SEALs.
Oh boy!
Sounds like some interesting
They're in a
stories.
wide open field. Full military gear. Modern Navy SEALs. Versus the entire British Redcoat Army. We're talking 100,000 Redcoats here. They only have
100,000.
muskets. They march in line versus 100 Navy SEAls. Who do you think would win?
I'll go for Navy SEAL.
That's a very good question. So, I believe the math comes out to the British would win, simply because the firing rate of fully automatic weapons, number of bullets, the spread of the shots, you can't cycle it fast enough so that the barrels just don't melt and malfunction, right?
They overheat, yeah.
They overheat, and there's so many British soldiers. They can just keep
100,000.
charging. They can just keep charging, and eventually they get them.
It's
But
1,001.
you said it's 4 gear up Navy SEAL, right?
Yeah. So they have pretty much
So they have
everything.
everything.
Like, are we including grenades in this
Yeah,
scenario?
of course. You said 4 gear up.
Okay.
So there's
Add grenades
tons of
in.
things.
Okay, even if you add grenades in, look, how fast can they throw grenades versus how fast can all 100,000 charge them? So shoot, once they get up to like, what, how far can a musket shoot? 50 meters, 500 meters, something like
Wait,
that?
are they in an open field?
Yes. Open field. Let's say there are a couple trees on the outskirts if you want to put some snipers
Rocks?
up. Not a lot of
Rock.
rocks. Just mainly open field. Yeah.
Okay.
So the morale might go down, but are these British soldiers, are they bloodlusted? Or
They're trying their hardest.
They're trying
They will
their
fight
hardest.
to the death.
They will fight to death. See, that's different.
Okay.
Because now that they're fighting to death, they're all going to keep charging. And you can't kill them fast enough. There's too many of them.
I mean, it's 100-to-1 odds, and I think it's still in the favor of the Redcoats by sheer
think so.
determination and numbers.
No, I'll go for Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL.
Yeah, Navy SEAL can do everything.
Yeah, but they can't fire fast enough to kill all of them.
Next one.
Next one. All right.
Stop drinking water.
Stop drinking.
We only got 1 cup, and that's it.
Would you rather have alcohol or drugs?
What drugs?
What drugs? Yes.
Any.
Oh, drugs.
Like, what circumstance is it? Like,
Just party.
what kind of party though? Because
Yeah.
different party, you got different things to
Right.
do. So
What's your goal at this
If
point?
you choose alcohol, it's an alcohol party. If you choose drugs, it's a drug party.
that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
David, how many parties have you been to?
Well, of course, there's both.
I have 10 finger.
There's
Count
both.
it.
Count what?
How many parties has there?
How many parties are there? More than 10.
Oh.
20.
Oh.
Plus you.
I don't know. I didn't count them.
Okay.
Funny.
Well, keep laying this scenario down.
Okay.
So if you choose one, it's that kind of party.
Yeah. You can choose the others.
Who's gonna be at this party? What are my goals?
No, wait. So it's hard to choose because I would go for drugs if I have to choose between alcohol and drugs.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
Because after you drink, you gotta throw up. You feel dizzy, you gotta throw up, and if you dry out in the second day. But
hangovers.
but after if you take drugs, you're kind of pretty comfortable during that point until second day, and then we feel dry out. James?
Well, I would probably pick drugs too. You know, there's such a variety there. You could have a lot of fun. It's a lot of wiggle room, you know? Are we
also
mixing or sticking to one kind?
Just one.
You just get to pick one. Still probably drugs. Yeah.
Alright.
What about you though?
What would
Me?
you do, David?
I'm allergic to alcohol.
Oh, okay, next one. My turn. So that's why you
your
asked.
choice is kind of clear there.
It's pretty clear.
So how many parties have you been to?
Yes, David.
A lot.
A lot.
Parties, yeah.
So
They go
So-
on different
Most of-
school, you don't know them.
No.
what
it's
he
mostly-
said? He says he's allergic to alcohol. So
Yeah.
therefore,
I'm always designated driver or designated whoever.
David's
Most
the
of the
hardest.
time.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Somebody's got to make sure everybody stays safe.
Yeah.
I
That's my
respect
job.
you for that, David.
Many a days I had been squatting by a toilet,
squatting.
Holding someone's
holding
hand.
someone's head.
Yeah. Fun times.
So yeah, I've never been to. You never drunk before? Get drunk before?
Once I had an allergic reaction. Not fun. Started swelling up, but I was drunk.
Okay.
So slightly better.
So my turn is, what's your drunk story?
Ooh, my drunk story. It's a good one.
So
Which
many
one?
of them.
Which
There's,
one?
there's a few.
Pick one. Just pick one that is most terrified or most.
Okay. I will tell you the story of breast nuggets.
Oh, breast
Breast
nuggets.
nuggets.
Breast
Another
nuggets.
inside joke.
So,
Well, you'll know.
it's an outside joke now.
Okay.
So
It's
I-
public joke now.
Yeah. I went to a party and there was a theme for the party and it was anything but clothes. So you could go to the party wearing anything you want except for clothes. So you had to make an outfit out of things that weren't clothes. And at the time, I had a bag of chicken nuggets lying around. And I washed it. I washed the chicken nugget bag. And then I made it into like a shirt that went around me. And on the chicken nugget bag, it said breast nuggets. Like right where my breast should be. So I thought it was funny. And I put it on. And I go to the party, and there was like, it was a pretty nice party, and there was a bar there, and there were like bartenders and stuff. And I show up at the party, and we had pre-gamed a little bit, so everybody's having fun. And I go to the bar to get something, and the bartender looks at me and he's like, "Ha, breast nuggets, that's pretty funny." And he calls over the other bartender, and he's like, "Hey, look, it's breast nuggets." And I was like, "Hey, what's up? I'm breast nuggets, I guess." But then they just gave me free drinks for the rest of the night.
Oh, just because.
Just because breast nuggets, yeah. And I would just go over every now and then and be like, "Breast nuggets," and they'd be like, "Hey." It was fun.
That's the easy way to get free drink though.
Yeah.
It works.
Breast nuggets.
Breast nuggets.
Cool. James, we'll go for 3 rounds and real quick.
All right, David. Tell us an awkward girl story.
Too many.
Awkward girl story. Which one to pick?
one?
Huh. Which one can I say publicly?
Publicly?
Yeah, right.
Just beep out the name.
Or switch
Say-
the name.
Oh, switch the name.
Color Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, it works. Color Steve.
No, not that one. Not that Steve one.
Nope.
Oh.
Yes, we'll listen. We'll get that.
Okay. Alright. Steve and I went to a spa together.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
alright.
Um.
Nearby?
It was in Centreville, maybe?
That's the only one.
Right?
Around usually, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe.
Yeah, it was Spa World in around here-ish, I guess. It's weird.
Weird.
Steve asked me, he's like, hey, you want to go to the spa? And I said, sure. And so Steve was like, okay, pick me up at this address. And I'm like, okay, why, this is not where you live.
This is
Where
cryptic Steve.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. And I go, but it's at 8 p.m. So I show up at like 9 p.m. 9 p.m. to go to the spa. I show up. I park my car. Everything's dark. I don't know which house it is. I can't see the mailboxes. So I'm like, okay. I text Steve, hey, I'm here. All of a sudden, this stream of people come out of this house. Some Asian dude walks up to me. He's like, hey, is this how I get onto the highway? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know.
So what time? Pause that for a second. What time does spa will close?
It's 24 hours.
24 hours.
It's 24 hour spa. It's
If you
cheaper
need a
than a hotel.
massage at 3 in the morning, Spa World.
It's cheaper than a hotel. It's
We're not
$40 a
sponsored.
night. Not sponsored.
But-
But anyways, Steve comes out and Steve's like, I'll explain later. And I'm like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, Steve and I get in the car and we go to Spa World and it's gender segregated. And it's very cultish. It's really weird. You get in, the first thing they do is take your shoes. So you can't leave. You're stuck.
They got your shoes.
They got your shoes. What are you gonna do? Get in, gender segregated. Steve goes to the female side. I go to the male side. I'm having like some sort of panic attack because I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
They took my shoes.
They took my shoes. I switch into the uniform they gave me, and I'm like, okay. So Steve told me to like try out the spa before going to the lounge room. Well, I have no idea how to get to the lounge room. I don't see a sign that says lounge room. It's just mirrors, naked old men, and lockers. I'm like, great. So I see a guy come out of what seems to me was just a wall. It's a door. It's a glass door. So he comes out, he's, butt naked. And I'm like, oh, that's probably where the spa is. So then I walk in, and I look around. Everyone is naked. I'm like, I think I shouldn't be in this uniform. And then I'm like, let me go read the directions just to be clear. And I read the directions, and there's nothing. It says nothing about wearing a uniform. It does say go take a shower first. So I walk up to the shower, and I'm about to turn it on. I'm like, everyone's kind of looking at me. I don't think I should have my uniform on. So I'm like, okay. So I walk out, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? I'm in full panic mode. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, okay, I have 9% left on my phone battery. I'm going to Google Spa World. So I Google the blueprints of Spa World. I can't find anything until I get to like Yelp, and then I'm like going through all the pictures to see how the hell do I get to the lounge room? What am I doing here?
But do you shower in the locker room?
No, you go into the spa.
No, in the school. Like, do you shower in the locker room?
Yeah.
Do you get naked during the shower?
Yeah, but there's like stalls usually.
Oh, so our school is different. We got all open space.
Open space. Yeah. Anyways, so I'm Googling, I'm panicking, I'm like, where do I go? So I finally find this one sign that says poultry room.
Ooh.
Right?
Poultry.
What does poultry mean? I don't know what poultry means. Do you know what poultry means?
You're gonna go get some
Chicken?
Yeah.
Like what? Poultry means chicken. I don't know.
Do you have to be naked for that?
I don't know. I was like, okay. There's also signs saying like this thing was an extra price or this thing was an extra price, and poultry room was one of them. And I'm like, what is poultry? Is it some sort of makeup term? What is this? And I'm like, it's the only door left. I walked in and out of the front entrance just like 20 times, just like I don't know where I'm going. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open this door, and I open it, and it's just a giant hallway, and I'm like, okay, this probably leads to the
poultry room.
to the poultry room. Right?
Yeah.
So I walk in and go down, and then I finally find the lounge room. Like, oh, okay. It's just there's like 2 huts. They're clay huts, right? They're just all heated rooms around. Empty space on the floor in the middle for sleeping pads, some couches, a restaurant. I'm like, oh, this is a lounge room. Okay. I go to the couch, I sit down, and I just like, wait. I'm waiting for Steve.
Waiting for Steve.
You still remember the name?
Yeah.
So Steve finally comes out, and Steve's like, "Oh hey, you know, did you try the spa?" And I'm like, no, I didn't.
There was a lot of naked
There
dudes
was
in there.
a lot of naked old dudes.
And I
I
got
did
lost.
not need wrinkly balls near me. And so I was sitting there on the couch, and Steven's like, "Hey, we should get, you know, let's go eat something." So we go and we get some food at the restaurant right before it closes. Neither of us were hungry, but we ordered food anyways, and we just like ate half of it.
Is that food for free?
No, it was like $14.
That's not bad.
Anyway, Steve was treating me to the spa, which
Ooh.
was real nice.
Very nice.
So
I'm listening really hard. Why is so special to you?
what?
Because the wrinkly balls.
Is this a can like dating?
It was like practice dating. Steve, I'm not
Practice
that. I'm like, I had someone else in mind. I liked someone else, so you know, I didn't really feel anything for Steve. So, but
Steve was just an opportunistic thing.
Oh, we all know
Yeah.
the Steve. I'm trying to figure it out.
yeah, not all of us know Steve. No, you might know Steve. You don't know Steve personally, but I've talked about Steve.
Oh, does Steve go to UVA?
No, Steve does not go to UVA.
Oh.
No, I told you about Steve. I told you about this story before. I think. Maybe.
Like how long ago? I'm trying to figure out who is Steve.
3 weeks ago?
Probably not. I don't know.
Anyways, so we're trying out like not now after the dinner, I guess. It's like 10 p.m. We're trying out these hot rooms, and then we get to like one that was perfect temperature, and then Steve's like, "It smells nasty in here." I'm kind of nosebleed, so I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess so." I don't know what it smells like.
It probably smells.
Yeah. So then we didn't, and then we went back to the couch, and then Steve's like, "Let's just take a nap." I'm like, "Okay." So we took a nap, and now it's like 1 a.m. And Steve wakes me up, and Steve's like, "It's 1 a.m." I'm like, "I'm too tired. I can't drive." I drove Steve here, so I'm like, "I can't drive. I'm gonna fall asleep while I'm driving." So I'm like, "Steve, give me 1 more hour." So Steve's like, "Okay." So
Let me think.
Steve and I just slept another hour. Steve woke me up and was like, "It's 2." And I'm like, "It is, and I'm awake enough. Let's go." And then,
And we left.
no, and not yet. We go out, and I take my uniform, fold it up real nice, and I bring it to the front desk, and the front desk is like, "Oh, no, there's a place to throw it inside the locker room." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I go back, and I'm looking around, and this wrinkly old black dude, he's old as fuck. He is wrinkly as hell. He is naked as fuck. And he sees me, like, looking in these bins. Like, there's, like, oh, there are clean ones already. And he's like, "Oh, it's over here." And I'm like, "Thank you." Direct eye contact. Put it in the bin.
Don't look down.
Yeah. And then I walked away. And then we left, finally. And then I drove, an hour back to where I was supposed to drop her off, back to her car, and I drove another hour back home. We barely talked, we just slept most of it.
Saw a lot of naked dudes.
A lot of naked dudes.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Let me think.
How about you? You're
So it has to be an Asian girl, right? Because
doesn't
not
have to be.
well.
It has to be.
It has to be because white girl doesn't go to spa that often.
Oh, you're trying to guess this Steve. Steve's identity.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about your own story.
No.
Oh, okay.
What do you want to ask me about?
Oh, your story. Yeah. James told us his story. I told a story. Ask you what kind of stories you got.
Like what kind of
Good
story?
question.
What kind of story do you want to hear?
Any, like, girl, guy,
Steve.
Steve.
Naked old dudes.
Let me think. Oh, I don't got much Steve around,
Hmm?
and oh,
I'm more curious about when is your first time with
When-
a girl?
Ooh.
Oh.
David, when was your first?
And
Oh, I
James
never had
or
one.
David and Arnold.
First
I got a
time.
good story.
Yeah.
Okay. First time.
First time.
First time.
Really first time.
It's about 16. What kind of first time am I talking about?
First time,
You guys don't stand.
You we guys don't stand.
Yeah.
How does
First
that?
time hitting a home run.
Ah.
First
Going
base.
baseball metaphors.
talking
First
about,
base. First base probably 15.
Mhm.
Second.
Oh.
Third probably 16.
okay, the two question. Okay, when is your first time to dating with a girl, and then when is your first time to do some personal things with a girl?
Yeah, that's what we said.
Oh.
That's what we said.
I want to tell the bloody nose story.
Bloody nose story.
Are we jumping all the way in?
Are we?
I think we are.
Okay,
So
James first.
I love the bloody nose story.
we're gonna skim over the dating because that kind of.
I need a drink.
It's pretty uneventful. I mean, that probably 8th grade if you count like those 2-week little relationship things that are
Mm.
real. You hold hands in the hallway for a little bit, but
Hmm.
like actual relationship probably freshman year. And then first time doing things is a pretty interesting story.
Is it third base? Or
We're
Home
talking all the
run.
way.
Oh,
Home
okay,
run.
okay.
So
I'm good.
I was with this girl,
Steve.
Steve. I feel like we should change it up.
No,
I wanted
we
to
stay
be
with Steve.
All right, we're staying with Steve. So I was with this girl, Steve, and we had been dating like a month or two at that point. And her mom was out of the house for a while. She like went to the store,
Mm.
and Steve calls me up and is like, "Hey, I'm home alone."
Mm.
So I head over there, and we Netflixed and chilled,
Mm.
as the kids
Pre-game.
say.
Pre-game.
We were hanging out for a while, and then we got into it, and it was both of our first times. So it was awkward and weird and sweaty,
Oh my goodness. Okay.
a little gross.
How
Freshman
This
year
was
is 15,
summer after freshman year, so
16,
15. Yeah,
15.
yeah,
Mhm.
a little bit young, but it
It's
happens.
fully functioning
So-
already, so.
So like we did things, and I did not know that sometimes a girl can bleed after her first time. So that happened, and it got on the sheets a little bit. So there's some blood on the sheets, and we finish up, and we're like, we'll change them later, whatever. So we both get dressed, and as soon as I finish putting on my shirt, her mom walks in the door, like the front door to the house.
Oh, that's why.
And we hear her downstairs, and she just goes straight up to her room and comes right in the room. And I'm standing there, like, just very freshly, fully clothed, not knowing what's going on. Her mom walks in, looks at Steve across the room, sees the bed, and then I'm like, oh crap, there's definitely a lot of blood on those sheets. So I grabbed a tissue from her nightstand and I shoved it up my nose. So she sees the blood and then sees me with a tissue up my nose.
Wow.
And we were like, oh yeah, I got a bloody nose. It got everywhere. And she's like, oh no, you go get cleaned up. And she changed and washed the sheets while I was still there. So, Steve's mom, I'm sorry. But, yeah.
That happened.
I believe
That
you
happened.
realized you lied to her.
Yeah, no, looking back on it, I think she definitely knew. but didn't want to say anything.
Like the bed condition, it wasn't like made or anything.
No,
It was
I mean,
like
Steve wasn't one to make beds. David.
oh, okay.
And we had been like hanging out in her room before that,
Mm.
you know, because she had like a TV and stuff. But you know, it was a little bit obvious, but yeah. Good times.
You were so smart. That's good.
Quick thinking.
Day.
What
What's
Me?
your nosebleed
Nothing.
story?
My nosebleed story. I have a nosebleed story. I don't have like any of these. I know my nose bled for 5 hours. I went to the ER.
Yeah.
They cauterized it in, so it just burned my blood vessels so they wouldn't bleed anymore.
Wait, so I heard
Mm,
from someone,
from someone.
yes, that you never had a Steve before.
No,
Never had
I've
a
never had a Steve before. I've never dated. I'm just too much of a loser. That's why. No, I'm too shy. I don't.
To stop drinking your empty
No, but
cup.
I'm nervous. It's not empty. It's got some water in it.
Okay.
See? No, you can see.
Alright. I think I will let you go. I think we're done.
I think we're done.
All right.
Cheers.
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 With the rusty water.
Rusty water. I have 4 cups.
This
You don't-
topic we
just
can
David.
talk 2 episodes, I think.